In Pakistan, millions of people who've been affected by record-breaking floods are confronting a new threat: waterborne diseases. Tens of thousands in hard-hit provinces are falling ill after drinking contaminated floodwater. Doctors say they've been treating thousands suffering from diarrhea, skin infections, and other ailments.
3-year-old Achap has been feverish for days, ever since the floods badly damaged his family home, and they've had to sleep out in the open. He didn't get any medical treatment at the start because the family couldn't afford to go to the doctor.
My son fell ill a few days ago. I didn't have the money to bring him here, but I found it. The doctor says he's got malaria. He's getting a bit better.
The stagnant water means mosquitoes can quickly spread malaria. But medical facilities are basic in this remote area of the southern Sindh province. Ajit Kumar runs a small practice and is always busy. Most of his patients can't afford to pay.
We can't really treat patients for free, but we do it anyway. They still have to pay for the medicine. There's a lot of disease. Children often have several illnesses at once because they're drinking contaminated water.
It's not just medical treatment which is lacking. Food is also in short supply. Most of these market traders are farmers whose fields are flooded. They also have to deal with the extreme heat.
My house and the harvest have been wiped out. There's no shelter from the heat, and the water in the fields is still waist deep. My business will go bust.
It hasn't rained in this region for about 10 days. But the water cannot run off because the ground is saturated. Scientists fear the harvests in the next 2 years will fail. Ijaz Ali and his family are in a desperate situation. Their house is uninhabitable. Part of the roof has collapsed and they live in fear of the next rainfall.
The government has to help us. Our home has been destroyed. The children are sick, and we have no work. I'm really worried.
There's no food, and the family is having to survive on a few cups of tea a day. That will not sustain them for long.
And let's bring in Aisha Siddiqa. She's a Pakistani climate and human rights activist and currently a researcher at New York University School of Law. Aisha, good to see you. Your hometown in Pakistan has been affected by the floods. What are you hearing from people in your community?
Well, the water is not leaving. It is staying there and it's going to continue to stay there for 2 months. And what that has resulted in, as you were saying, is an abundance of mosquitoes. They are crowding above the sitting water and an abundance of illnesses. I cannot even qualify how many people are going to become sick because of this water, but that is going to be the reality. Also, northern Pakistan is home to crops such as sugarcane and cotton. And sugarcane and cotton also happen to be one of our biggest products that we export. So that is completely wiped out. And that means that families are not just going to be hungry for the next coming months. They're going to be facing the effects for years to come.
What are your biggest fears for Pakistan in the time ahead?
What looks like a natural disaster right now and is slowly becoming a humanitarian crisis is about to multiply tenfold. And we as a country are not prepared for it, and globally we are not prepared for it. Flooding in this part of the world is not new, neither are monsoons. In fact, if the climate crisis and because the climate crisis is going to continue to get worse, these floods are going to become the new normal. The country right now is just it's responding in an emergency. It does not have a plan for next week. a month to come, and the illnesses that will come out of this. In addition to that, hungry people get angry. Pakistan's GDP is 9% cotton, and 30 million acres of crop has just been completely destroyed. That means that internally there's going to be social collapse, if not political uprisings.
You say the current situation in Pakistan is a textbook example of climate injustice. So do you think richer countries have a special responsibility to assist Pakistan in the aftermath of the floods?
It's not a special responsibility, and neither do I think is it a debate of whether or not Global North owes countries like Pakistan reparations. The Global North is responsible for 92% of the excess emissions. EU is responsible for 29% of what we call the climate crisis, and the United States 40%. Meanwhile, Pakistan is responsible for less than 0.98% of extra emissions. So yes, this is the Global North should assist us financially, but it is not just that. What is happening in Pakistan is an issue for all of us, because this can be the reality for the rest of the world if we don't take the climate crisis seriously, if we don't stop our emissions yesterday. What is the floods and what we're seeing in this extreme suffering can be your home, your family, your land in the next coming years if we don't stop our production of fossil fuel.